Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishikam Vitam Sha Om Ajnana Timaranda Shagyana Jana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Gurava Bistam Supurakam Guruganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Vedanipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Abhidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhakyan Vitam Sundaram Bande Vishwagunam Shah Divyad Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchanda Varanam Balarka Shailanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Bandetam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Yashishvara Shidaram Manchakopatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila chapter 20. The Lord instructs Sri Sanatan Goswami. This is verse number 82. Sanataner Vairagya Prabhur Ananda Apar Bhota Kambala Pane Prabhu Chahe Barbar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt unlimited happiness to observe Sanatana Goswami's strict following of the principles of sannyas. However, he repeatedly glanced at the woolen blanket Sanatan Goswami was wearing. Sanatana Janila Prabhure Nabai Bhota Tyaga Koribare Chindila Upai. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was repeatedly glancing at this valuable woolen blanket, Sanatana Goswami could understand that the Lord did not approve of it. He then began to consider a way to give it up. So this was a woolen blanket, new woolen blanket that Sanatana Goswami's brother-in-law had given him. Eta chinti gela gangaya madhyana korite ek Goriya Kanta Duya Diache Shukaite. Thinking this way, Sanatan went to the banks of the Ganges to bathe. While there, he saw that a mendicant from Bengal had washed his quilt and spread it out to dry. Tareko he orebai koro upakare e bota loya e kanta de homore. Sanatan Goswami then told the Bengali mendicant, "My dear brother, please do me a favor. Trade me your quilt for this woolen blanket." Seko he rahashakora pramanika haya bahuma muya bota diva kena kantal loya. The mendicant replied, "Sir, you are a respectable gentleman. Why are you joking with me? Why would you trade your valuable blanket for my torn quilt?" Teho kohe rahashinahe kahe satyabani botaloha tumideha mora kantakani. Sanatan said, "I'm not joking, I am speaking the truth. Kindly take this blanket in exchange for your torn quilt." Etabole kantaloila bota taridiya Gosairatai Aila Kanta Galidia. Saying this, Sanatan Goswami exchanged the blanket for the quilt. He then returned to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with a quilt on his shoulder. Prabhu kohe tomara bota kambala katagela Prabhupada sab kata gosai kohila. Prabhu kohe tomara bota kambala kotagela Prabhupada sab kata gosai kohila. When Sanatana Goswami returned, the Lord asked, "Where's your woolen blanket?" Sanatana Goswami then narrated the whole story to the Lord. Prabhu kohe iha ame koriyache bichar vishaya roga kandaila Krishna jay tomar sekene rakibe tomar seisha vishay bog roga kandes sadvaidya na rakesesha roga. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "I have already deliberately considered this matter. Since Lord Krishna is very merciful, he has nullified your attachment for material things. Why should Krishna allow you to maintain a last bit of material attachment? After vanquishing a disease, a good physician does not allow any of the disease to remain. Tina mudrara bota gai, madhukari gras, dharmahane hoy loka kori upahas." It is contradictory to practice madhukari and at the same time wear a valuable blanket. One loses one's spiritual strength by doing this, and one will also become an object of jokes. Gosai kohe jay kandila kubishaya bog tara ichaya gela morasesha vishaya rog. Sanatana Goswami replied, "The Supreme Personality of Godhead has saved me from the sinful life of material existence. By his desire, my last piece of material attraction is now gone. Prasana hoya Prabhu tare kripa koila, tara kripa prashna korite, tara shakti hoila." Being pleased with Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his causeless mercy upon him. By the Lord's mercy, Sanatana Goswami received the spiritual strength to inquire from him. Purve jai che raya pashe Prabhu prashna koila, tara shakti Ramananda tara uttaradila. Formerly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had asked Ramananda Roy spiritual questions, and by the Lord's causeless mercy, Ramananda Roy could properly reply. Now, by the Lord's mercy, Sanatana Goswami questioned the Lord, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally supplied the truth. Kripa Swaru Madhur Kripa Swaru Madhuryais Varya Bhakti Rasashrayam Tatvam Sanatana Yesha Kripayo Paridesha Saha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, personally told Sanatana Goswami about Lord Krishna's real identity. He also told him about the Lord's conjugal love, his personal opulence, and the mellows of devotional service. All these truths were explained to Sanatana Goswami by the Lord himself out of his causeless mercy. Tabe Sanatana Prabhur Charane Doriya Donya Binate Kore Dante Trinalaya. Putting a straw in his mouth and bowing down, Sanatana Goswami clasped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and humbly spoke as follows. Nicha jate nicha sange patita adam kubishaya kupe pari gosainu janama. Sanatan Goswami said, I was born in a low family, and my associates are all low-class men. I myself am fallen, am the lowest of men. Indeed, I have passed my whole life fallen in the well of sinful materialism. Actually, Sri Sanatan Goswami belonged to a Brahmin family because he belonged to the Saraswat division of the Brahmanas and was well cultured and well educated. Somehow or other, he accepted a ministership in the Muslim government. Therefore, he had to associate with meat eaters, drunkards, and gross materialists. Sanatan Goswami considered himself fallen, for in the association of such men, he also fell victim to material enjoyment. Having passed his life in that way, he considered that he had wasted his valuable time. This statement about how one can become fallen in this material world is made by the greatest authority in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Actually, the whole world is presently fallen into material existence. Everyone is a meat eater, drunkard, woman hunter, gambler, and whatnot. People are enjoying material life by committing the 4 basic sins. Although they are fallen, if they simply submit themselves at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they will be saved from sinful reactions. Apanara hita kichwina jani gramya jabahare pandita tai satyamani. I do not know what is beneficial for me or what is detrimental. Nonetheless, in ordinary dealings, people consider me a learned scholar, and I'm also thinking of myself as such. Kripa kore jadi more, kore jacha udar, apana kripate kaha kartabya amar. Out of your causeless mercy, you have delivered me from the materialistic path. Now, by the same causeless mercy, please tell me what my duty is. Kiyame kene amai jareta patroy ihanahi jane kemone hitahoy. Who am I? Why do the threefold miseries always give me trouble? If I do not know this, how can I be benefited? The threefold miseries are miseries arising from the body and the mind, miseries arising from dealings with other living entities, and miseries arising from natural disturbances. From miseries from the body and mind, they're called adhyatmika klesha. Miseries arising from the dealings with other living entities are called adhibhotika klesha. And miseries arising from natural disturbances are called adhidivika klesha. Sometimes we suffer bodily miseries arising from natural disturbances. Sometimes we suffer bodily when we are attacked by a fever, and sometimes we suffer mentally when a close relative dies. Other living entities also cause us misery. There are living entities born of the human embryo, of eggs, perspiration, and vegetation. Miserable conditions brought about by natural catastrophes are controlled by the higher demigods. They may be severe cold or thunderbolts, or a person may be haunted by ghosts. These threefold miseries are always before us, and they entrap us in a dangerous situation. Padam padam yad vipadam. There is danger in every step of life. Sadhya sarana tattva puchite na jani kripakore sab tattva kahata apani. Actually, I do not know how to inquire about the goal of life and the process of obtaining it. Being merciful upon me, please explain all these truths. Prabhu kohe Krishna kripa tomate purna hoy sab tattva jana tomara nahi tapatroy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Lord Krishna has bestowed his full mercy upon you, so that all these things are known to you. For you, the threefold miseries certainly do not exist. Krishna Shakti Dharatumi Jana Tattvad Bhav Jani Dardya Lagi Puche Sadara Swabhav. Since you possess Lord Krishna's potency, you certainly know these things. However, it is the nature of a sadhu to inspire. Although he knows these things, the sadhu inquires for the sake of strictness. Achiradeva sarvarta siddhyati esham adipsitaha shadharmasya yava bodhaya yesham nirbandini matihi. Those who are eager to awaken their spiritual consciousness and who thus have unflinching, undeviated intelligence certainly attain the desired goal of life very soon. Jogyapatra how to me bhakti pravartaite krame sab tattvashuna kohiye tomate. You are fit to propagate the cult of devotional service. Therefore, gradually hear all the truths about it from me. I shall tell you about them. Shivara Swarupoy, Krishnera Nityadas, Krishnera Tatasta Shakti, Beda Bhed Prakash, Suryam Sa, Kirana Jaiche, Agni Jwala Chai, Sabhavika Krishner, Teen Prakar Shakti Hoy. It is the living entity's constitutional position to be an eternal servant of Krishna, because he is the marginal energy of Krishna and a manifestation simultaneously one with and different from the Lord, like a molecular particle of sunshine or fire. Krishna has three varieties of energy. Srila Bhaktivedanta explains these verses as follows. Sri Sanatan Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who am I? In answer, the Lord replied, you are a pure living entity. You are neither the gross material body nor the subtle body composed of mind and intelligence. Actually, you are a spirit soul. Actually, you are a spirit soul, eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, Krishna. Therefore, you are his eternal servant. You belong to Krishna's marginal potency. There are two worlds, the spiritual world and the material world, and you are situated between the material and spiritual potencies. You have a relationship with both the material and the spiritual world. Therefore, you are called the marginal potency. You are related with Krishna as one and simultaneously different. Because you are spirit soul, you are one in quality with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because you are a very minute particle of spirit soul, you are different from the Supreme Soul. Therefore, your position is simultaneously one with and different from the Supreme Soul. The examples given are those of the sun itself and the small particles of sunshine, and of a blazing fire and the small particles of fire. Ekdesh Stita Shagner Chochna Vistaraniyata Parasya Brahmana Shaktis Tatedam Akilam Jagat. Just as the illumination of a fire, which is situated in one place, is spread all over, the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahman, are spread all over this universe. Krishnera Svabhavika Tin Shakti Parinati Chit Shakti Jiva Shakti Aramaya Shakti. Lord Krishna naturally has three energetic transformations, and these are known as the spiritual potency, the living entity potency, and the illusory potency. Chid Shakti, spiritual potency, Jiva Shakti, the Jiva souls, or marginal energy, and Maya Shakti, the mundane material world. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta Kshetragyakya Tatapara Avidya Karma Samgyaya Tritiya Shaktir Ishyate. Originally, Krishna's energy is spiritual, and the energy known as the living entity is also spiritual. However, there is another energy called illusion, which consists of fruitive activity. That is the Lord's third potency. Shaktaya sarva bhavanam achintya jnanam gocharaha yatato brahmanastastu sargadya bhavashaktayaha bhavanti tapatam shreshta paravakasya yatoshnata. And all the creative energies which are inconceivable to a common man exist in the Supreme Absolute Truth. These inconceivable energies act in the process of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. O chief of the ascetics, just as there are two energies possessed by fire, namely heat and light, these inconceivable creative energies are the natural characteristics of the Absolute Truth. Yaya Kshetragya Shakti Cha Yaya Kshetragya Shakti Sha Veshtita Nripasarvaga Samsara Tapan Akilan Avapnoti Atra Sanatanam. O King, the Kshetragya Shakti is the living entity. Although he has the facility to live in either the material or the spiritual world, he suffers the threefold miseries of material existence because he is influenced by the avidya nescience potency, which covers his constitutional position. Tayati tatvatscha shakti kshetragya samgita sarvabhuteshu bhupala taratam yena vartate. This living entity, covered by the influence of nescience, exists in different forms in the material condition. O King, he is thus proportionally freed from the influence of material energy to greater or lesser degrees. Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidime param Chiva Bhuta Mahabaho Yayedam Dayate Jagat. Besides these inferior energies, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. So the living entity is called marginal, tatastha shakti, and the living entity can identify with either naturally the spiritual potency, chit shakti, can through service to the Lord, or can try to exploit the resources of the inferior material nature. Krishna Buli se jiva anadir bahirmukh ateva mayatare deya samsara dukh. Forgetting Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by an external feature from time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy Maya gives him all kinds of misery in his material existence. So this verse says, forgetting Krishna, because we have forgotten Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the external feature from time immemorial. Therefore, the illusory energy, Maya, gives him all kinds of misery in his material existence. And I remember Siddhanti Maharaj, he used to say, forgetting Krishna, in order to get Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the external feature from time immemorial. Or in other words, in order to get Krishna, the living entity has come into this material world. Which is also some truth behind that. Therefore, the illusory energy Maya gives one all kinds of misery in one's material existence. Kabu svarge utaya kabu narake dubai danya jani raja jena narite chubai. In the material condition, the living entity is sometimes raised to higher planetary systems and material prosperity, and sometimes drowned in a hellish situation. His state is exactly like that of a criminal who a king punishes by submerging him in water and then raising him again from the water. So this kind of cruel punishment, which is described here, the material condition, the living entity is sometimes raised to higher planetary systems and material prosperity, and sometimes drowned in a hellish situation. His state is exactly like that of a criminal who a king punishes by submerging him in water and then raising him again from the water. And now, even now, they have that kind of torturous punishment. It's called waterboarding. We have that. But that is actually, that cruel punishment is actually what's going on with karma. Sometimes one is raised to the higher planetary systems when one has good karma, but when one spends all one's good karma, one goes down into a lower position again. And this is compared to a prisoner who sometimes, as punishment, is submerged in water till one is almost drowning, and then raised up again out of that water to get a few breaths of air before going back down. And in this way, one is suffering in this material world, and it is actually like a torture, but one thinks that the little bit of enjoyment which one will encounter here, which is nothing, one thinks that is everything. Bhayam Vitiya Biniveshata Shad Isharape Tasya Viparyayo Smriti Tanmaya Yato Buddha Abhajetam Bhaktaika Yesham Gurudeva Tatma Bhayam Dutiya Biniveshata Shad Isharape Tasya Viparyayo Smriti Tanmaya Yato Buddha Abhajetam Bhaktaika Yesham Gurudeva Tatma. When the living entity is attracted by the material energy, which is separate from Krishna, he is overpowered by fear. Because he is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the material energy, his conception of life is reversed. In other words, instead of being the eternal servant of Krishna, he becomes Krishna's competitor. This is called Viparya Smriti, which means a reversal of roles. To nullify this mistake, one who is actually learned and advanced worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his spiritual master, worshipful deity, and source of life. He thus worships the Lord by the process of unalloyed devotional service. Viparyayo Smriti, Viparyayo. Reversal of position. What is that reversal of position? Naturally, we are Krishna's eternal servant. But when one comes to identify with the material body and tries to enjoy the resources of the material world, there's a role reversal. So instead of being Krishna's servant, one becomes Krishna's competitor. Sadhu Shastra Kripa Jari Krishnon Mukha Hoy Se Jiva Nishtare Maya Tahare Chanai. If the conditioned soul becomes Krishna conscious by the mercy of saintly persons who voluntarily preach scriptural injunctions and help them to become Krishna conscious, the conditioned soul is liberated from the clutches of Maya, who gives him up. If the conditioned soul becomes Krishna conscious by the mercy of saintly persons who voluntarily preach scriptural injunctions and help them to become Krishna conscious, the conditioned soul is liberated from the clutches of Maya, who gives him up. Daivi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayamitam tarantite. One surrenders to Krishna, then Maya will give one release. And here it is, the next verse. Daivi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayamitam tarantite. This divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. And Maya will release one. And seeing that someone is surrendered to the Lord, then Maya doesn't hold one captive anymore. Maya mudga jiver nahi Swata Krishna Gyan Jivare Kripai Koila Krishna Veda Puran. The conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort, but out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and it supplements the Puranas. Shastra Guru Atma Rupe Apanare Janan Krishna Mora Prabhu Trata Jivara Hoy Gyan. The forgetful, conditioned soul is educated by Krishna through the Vedic literatures, the realized spiritual master, and the super soul. Through these, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is, and he can understand that Lord Krishna is his eternal master and deliverer from the clutches of Maya. In this way, one can acquire real knowledge of one's conditioned life and can come to understand how to attain liberation. Veda Shastra Kahe Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan Krishna Prapya Sambandha Bhakti Praptyera Saran. The Vedic literatures give information about the living entity's eternal relationship with Krishna, which is called Sambandha. The living entity's understanding of this relationship and his acting accordingly is called Abhideya. Returning home back to Godhead is the ultimate goal of life and is called Prayojan. Abhideya Nama Bhakti Prema Prayojan Purushartha Shiromani Prema Mahadan. Devotional service or sense activity for the satisfaction of the Lord is called Abhideya because it can develop one's original love of Godhead, which is the goal of life. This goal is the living entity's topmost interest and greatest wealth. Thus one attains the platform of transcendental loving service unto the Lord. Krishna Madhurya Sevananda Praptira Karan Krishna Seva Koryar Krishna Rasa Ashwadan. When one attains the transcendental bliss of an intimate relationship with Krishna, one renders service to him and tastes the mellows of Krishna consciousness. When one attains the transcendental bliss of an intimate relationship with Krishna, one renders service to him and tastes the mellows of Krishna consciousness. Krishna Rasa Asvadan. Krishna Seva Kore, like Krishna Rasa Asvadan. One tastes Krishna Rasa, the mellows of devotional service. Date Drishtanta Chaiche Daridrera Gare Sarvagya Ase Dukkha Deke Puchayeta Hare. The following parable may be given. Once the learned astrologer came to the house of a poor man, and seeing his distressed condition, questioned him. The following parable may be given. Once the learned astrologer came to the house of a poor man, and seeing his distressed condition, questioned him. So that astrologer is called Sarvagya. Sarvagya. And he comes to the house of a poor man. Oh, poor man. Tume kene duki tomar ache pitridan tomare na kohila adyan yatra chadila jivan. The astrologer asked, why are you unhappy? Your father was very wealthy, but he did not disclose his wealth to you because he died elsewhere. You weren't around for him to disclose to you where his wealth was kept. But he had so much wealth, and you are the heir. You can get that wealth, but you have to know where to find it. He wasn't able to tell you where to find it because he left without seeing you. Sarvagera bhakya kore danera udeshe aiche veda purana jive Krishna upadeshe. Just as the words of the astrologer, Sarvagya, gave news of the poor man's treasure. The Vedic literatures advise one about Krishna consciousness when one is inquisitive to know why he is in a distressed material condition. Because we're suffering, because we're in a distressed material condition, then we can hear advice about Krishna consciousness, and that advice is called sambandha. The spiritual master gives one advice about what are the realities of life, and that's called sambandha. Sarvagyara bhakye mula dana anubandha sarva shastri upadeshe Sri Krishna sambandha. By the words of the astrologer, the poor man's connection with the treasure was established. Similarly, the Vedic literature advises us that our real connection is with Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have a treasure, but first we have to become aware of that treasure and told how to find that treasure. That's called sambandha. Bapera dana ache jnane dana nahi pai tabe sarvagya kohe tare prapte rupai. Although being assured of his father's treasure, the poor man cannot acquire this treasure by such knowledge alone. Therefore, the astrologer had to inform him of the means whereby he could actually find the treasure. So he may be informed that he has a treasure, but now he has to know the means by which he can find the treasure. So he's told, you have a treasure, but now you have to learn how to find that treasure. Estani achedana chadi dakine kudibe bimarula baruli utibe danana paibe. The astrologer said, the treasure is in this place, but if you dig toward the southern side, the wasps and drones will rise, and you will not get your treasure. Your treasure is here, but if you dig on the southern side, you will be attacked by so many wasps. What is the word for wasps in Spanish? Avispa. Many wasps and other insects will attack you. If you dig on the western side, so if you dig on the southern side, you will be attacked by many wasps and stinging insects. Paschime kudibe taha jaka ekahoy se bigna koribe dane hatana padai. If you dig on the western side, there is a ghost who will create such a disturbance that your hands will not even touch the treasure. Uttare kudile ache Krishna ajagare dananahi pabe kudite gilive sabare. If you dig on the northern side, there is a big black snake that will devour you if you attempt to dig up the treasure. Purvadike tate mate apakudite danera jare baribeka tomara hatete. However, if you dig up a small quantity of dirt on the eastern side, your hands will immediately touch the pot of treasure. Aichi Shastra Kohe Karma Jnana Yoga Tyaji Bhakti Krishna Bhasha Hoy Bhakti Tare Bhaji. The revealed scriptures conclude that one should give up fruitive activity, speculative knowledge, and the mystic yoga system, and instead take the devotional service by which Krishna can be fully satisfied. So if you dig on the southern side, you'll be bitten by so many insects. So that's like compared to the Karma Kanda section, that you're advised that you can enjoy under regulated conditions, but that just increases. It's like being bitten over and over again. We have to be able to overcome material enjoyment. Otherwise, even if we practice some process like Karma Kanda, it will be like us being bitten over and over again. We will not get any relief. Aichi Shastra, and on the western side of a ghost that will swallow you. What is it? How is it worded? On the western side, there is a ghost who will create such a disturbance that your hands will not even touch the treasure. So that's like the belief in impersonal conception. It's like being haunted by ghosts. When the northern side about being swallowed by a snake, it's like the yoga practice where you Aiche Shastra Ko Hikarma Jnana Yoga Tyaji Bhakti Krishna Bhasha Hoy Bhakti Tarabaji. The revealed scriptures conclude that one should give up fruitive activity, speculative knowledge, and the mystic yoga system, and instead take to devotional service by which Krishna can be fully satisfied. Na sadayati mam yogo na sankyam dharma udbhava. Na sadayati mam yogo na sankyam dharma udbhava. Na swadhyayas tapastyago yata bhaktir mamorjita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna said, my dear Uddhava, neither through Astanga Yoga, the mystic yoga system to control the senses, nor through impersonal monism, or an analytical study of the absolute truth, nor through study of the Vedas, nor through austerities, charity, or acceptance of sannyas can one satisfy me as much as by developing unalloyed devotional service unto me. Bhaktyaham ekaya graya shradayatma priya satam bhakti punati mamnishta srapakam api sambhavat. Being very dear to the devotees and sadhus, I am attained through unflinching faith and devotional service. This bhakti yoga system, which gradually increases attachment for me, purifies even a human being born among dog eaters. That is to say, everyone can be elevated to the spiritual platform by the process of bhakti yoga. Ateva bhakti Krishna praptyara upai abhideya bolitare sarvashastrigai. The conclusion is that devotional service is the only means for approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This system is therefore called abhideya. This is the verdict of all revealed scriptures. So sambandha, abhideya, and prayojana. Sambandha knows how to search for the treasure. Abhideya is the actual process of devotional service by which one can attain that. And Dana paile jaichi sukha bhoga valapai sukha bhoga hoite dukkha apane palai. When one actually becomes rich, one naturally enjoys all kinds of happiness. When one is actually in a happy mood, all distressful conditions go away by themselves. No extraneous endeavor is needed. Taiche bhakti phale krishne prema upajai preme krishna svara hoy hoyle bhavanashapai. Similarly, as a result of bhakti, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens. When one is so situated that one can taste the association of Lord Krishna, material existence, the repetition of birth and death comes to an end. Similarly, as a result of bhakti, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens. When one is so situated that he can taste the association of Lord Krishna, material existence, the repetition of birth and death, comes to an end. Daridya nash baba koi premara falanoi prema sukha boga mukya prayojana hoy. The goal of love of Godhead is not to become materially rich or free from material bondage. The real goal is to be situated in devotional service to the Lord and to enjoy transcendental bliss. Veda Shastra Kohe Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan Krishna Krishna Bhakti Prema Tina Mahadan. In the Vedic literatures, Krishna is the central point of attraction, and his service is our activity. To attain the platform of love of Krishna is life's ultimate goal. Therefore, Krishna, Krishna's service, and love of Krishna are the three great riches of life. Sambandha, the relationship with Krishna. Abhideya, the process, is Krishna's service. And Krishna Prema, love of Krishna, these are the goal. The Sambandha, relationship, Abhideya, the process, and Prayojana, the goal. Therefore, Krishna, Krishna's service, and love of Krishna are the three great riches of life. Vedadi Sakala Shastre Krishna Mukhya Sambandha Taragyane Anusange Jaya Maya Bandha. In all revealed scriptures, beginning with the Vedas, the central point of attraction is Krishna. When complete knowledge of him is realized, the bondage of Maya, the illusory energy, is automatically broken. Vyamohaya characharasya jagatas te te purana gamais. Vyamohaya characharasya jagatas te te purana gamas tam tam eva I devatam paramikam japantu kalpavadi siddhante punar eka eva bhagavan Vishnu samastagama vyapareshu vivechana vyatikaram niteshu nischiyate. There are many types of Vedic literatures and supplementary Puranas. In each of them there are particular demigods who are spoken of as the chief demigods. This is just to create an illusion for moving and non-moving living entities. Let them perpetually engage in such imaginations. However, when one analytically studies all these Vedic literatures collectively, one comes to the conclusion that Lord Vishnu is the one and only Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mukhya gona vritti kimva anvaya vyatireke vedara pratidya kevala kohaye krishnake. When one accepts the Vedic literature by interpretation or even by dictionary meaning, directly or indirectly, the ultimate declaration of Vedic knowledge points to Lord Krishna. When one accepts the Vedic literature by interpretation or even by dictionary meaning, directly or indirectly, the ultimate declaration of Vedic knowledge points to Lord Krishna. Kim vidate kim achaste kim anudya vikalpayat iti asya hridayam loke nanyo mad veda kaschana mam vidate mam vikalpya poyate yaham etavan sarva vedartha shabda astaya Mambidam Mayamatram Anujante Prati Shidya Prasidati. Lord Krishna said, what is the purport of all Vedic literatures? On whom do they focus? Who is the object of all speculation? Outside of me, no one knows these things. Now you should know that all these activities are aimed at ordaining and setting forth me. The purpose of the Vedic literatures is to know me by different speculations, either by indirect understanding or by dictionary understanding. Everyone is speculating about me. The essence of all Vedic literatures is to distinguish me from Maya. By considering the illusory energy, one comes to the platform of understanding me. In this way, one becomes free from speculation about the Vedas and comes to me as the conclusion. Thus one is satisfied. Krishnera Swarup Ananta Vaibhava Apar Chit Shakti Maya Shakti Jiva Shakti are. The transcendental form of Lord Krishna is unlimited and has unlimited opulence. He possesses the internal potency, external potency, and marginal potency. Vaikuntha Brahmanda Gana Shakti Karya Hoy Swarupa Shakti Shakti Karya Krishna Samashroy. Material and the spiritual world are transformations of Krishna's external and internal potencies respectively. Therefore, Krishna is the original source of both the material and the spiritual manifestations. So I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow I'll continue. All right. Hare Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Hare Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Madhavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Janardan Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jahoite Vignana Shabishta Puran Jahoite Vignana Shabishta Puran H.I. Gosai Jar Muitara H.I. Gosai Jar Muitara Tasabar Prada Renu Mora Panchagras Pader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas janame janame more abelas. Echai gosai jabe raje koi laba. Echai gosai jabe raje koi laba. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Vaishnava Pade Majai Ama. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamuras. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamuras. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Nityai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nityai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Neri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sananta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Sri Nrsingadev Ki Jai. Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Ragana, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Ragana, Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premisigo, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva, Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Kushamashram Maharaj ki jai, Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.